What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you rocking with me. Got a sourcing video here for you, but the audio was just a hot mess. It dropped out altogether at some points, and there was music and talking and coughing and echoing. So I just decided to do a little VO. This is at a neighborhood community rummage sale. They do this a couple times a year. I've missed it the last couple years for various reasons. This is actually my first time here, but it just happened to line up where I was able to get in and take a look at some stuff. So lots of books. It's probably 90% books, but there are DVDs and CDs. So I was excited to go check it out. They were really good about social distancing. We had to schedule visiting times and all that. So they only had, I think, 5 or 6 of us in the room at any one time. Got this Star Wars original trilogy book I'll talk about a little bit at the end of this video. It turned out to not be worth anything, but as you can see, there is no cell reception, very intermittent cell reception at this particular spot. So I could not comp hardly anything. I think I was able to actually look up 2 or 3 items that I just was so unsure about that I just tried over and over and over again. Here we are over at the CDs. There's a lot of audiobooks there. I went through this section a couple of times. Oh, and I just see a Eurythmics CD that I didn't check. I probably would have grabbed that actually, but ended up grabbing a bunch of hair metal CDs from the 70s and 80s and a little bit into the 90s, I guess. Over here we have a bunch of, sorry, I was looking at the price list on the wall to see how much CDs were. I think they were 50 cents a piece. And so from there I decided, okay, I'm going to grab these. And I think audiobooks were listed at $2. So I had this wood box Lord of the Rings box set book on tape situation in my hand. I ended up carrying this around for a minute, and then at some point I realized that some items had price stickers on them, and that included the Lord of the Rings box set. They actually wanted $10 for it, not $2 for it. You can see the little white sticker there, but I didn't see it at the time or didn't notice it. And I was eventually able to look that up, and it goes for about $10 on eBay. So like I said, grabbing some rock and roll, hair metal type albums, bunch of Van Halen. I got some Motley Crue, a couple of odds and ends we'll go over at the end. Not a ton of stuff in here. There was a lot of adult contemporary, I guess we'll call it, from the 50s and 60s. So like a lot of Sinatra, Dean Martin, that kind of stuff. Stuff that I love but already own and doesn't really have much of a resale value to speak of. So left all that stuff behind. There was also a lot of religious audio in here. Some of that stuff can be really good, but most of it's just not, and I just don't care to mess with it if I can't look it up and figure out what it is. So I think at this point I'm looking over this Lord of the Rings set again, trying to figure out how to open it without dumping everything, and I'm checking the conditions of the disc. So I'm still really interested in this. I'm salivating over how much money there is in my mind over this set, and shocked that it's still here at the end of the week. Because at this point, I'm here at the sale on a Friday, and I think this was like the 8th or 9th day of it. They hold it over like almost 2-week period. At least they did this year. So I'm so excited that I found this, and I think I've hit the jackpot. And at some point later on, I realized that it's not, and I end up putting it back. So, and I just dumped all my CDs. Keeping my stuff organized was a bit of a problem. I have a bag somewhere, but there it is. It was just kind of a lot to juggle and source and all that. So. All right, what do we got here? More CDs on this side. I don't know. I probably grabbed some more metal stuff. I'm guessing I probably left stuff behind too. Jumping over to the DVDs. This is what I came to look at, all right? All these TV seasons. Unfortunately, these weren't $1 a piece. Every single one of them had a sticker in the corner. Most of them were $2. I think this one was $5. Yeah, $5 for season 4 of Emergency. It's about all it's worth on eBay. Not even though that's sealed, it's still not really worth any more than that. Bunch of copies of Band of Brothers here and the Pacific. Again, they wanted $5. They actually $6 on the Pacific, and they go for about the same, $5 to $10. Just not enough meat on the bone for me to grab it. There also are just a ton available, and that's the other problem, is that With so many being available on eBay, it's going to take forever to sell. I would have grabbed Game of Thrones, but not at $4 a piece. You're going to be into those for $16. Maybe you sell them for 30. It just doesn't make sense for the time that you put into it. I did check these BBC productions because I have done well with these in the past. This one starred Patrick Stewart, which got my attention. I almost bought it just for myself, but ended up not. These just weren't worth anything either. I did keep that Criterion Collection movie though. We'll talk about that later. There it is right there. I almost left it, threw it in my bag. Lots of good stuff, but it was just all way too expensive. I was able to find quite a bit of stuff, but not as much as I thought I would when I walked up and saw this massive array of TV seasons. I mean, these are slam dunks for me, but with the prices that they were asking, it wasn't there. It wasn't worth the time. I thought this was sealed at first. It turns out it wasn't. So I got excited for that, but ended up putting it back. And at this point, I'm just sort of like looking, you know what I mean? Just anything. Is there anything here that might make this worth it? I'm going through the kids' DVDs now. I've been collecting cartoon collections, like the Looney Tunes collections. I ended up grabbing quite a few here. About half the stuff I bought actually at this sale was for my personal collection. That stuff's not really available anymore. There's no such thing as Saturday morning cartoons anymore. And I want to kind of try to recreate that for my son when he's a little bit older. We can, make pancakes and watch cartoons on a Saturday morning. It's just something that's important to me to kind of give him that experience that unfortunately he just really won't have because of the way television is today. These are all just movies. I'm kind of searching through them. Things I look out for: kung fu movies, horror movies, things like that. I would have grabbed that James Bond set right there, except that I had just got the entire James Bond run in a media buy I did off Facebook Marketplace. Literally every movie up until the most recent ones. This Spotlight DVD is for your consideration. So this is a screener copy, and I'm looking at these others to see if they are as well, but they weren't. These are the discs that are sent out to voters for award shows, Academy Awards, Golden Globes, Screen Actors Guild, that kind of thing. The two that I end up getting don't have a ton of value, but they do have pretty good value. They're about $12 to $15. And when I'm only into it for $1, obviously that's a great return. But there is a collector's market for all of this award show product. They're not supposed to be available in the general market, but they end up finding their way eventually, quite frequently. Oh, what's that? Oh, I did grab it. I was like, hey, I missed a Criterion, but I did grab that one. It's kind of fun to go back and watch myself look through this because I only had an hour. Literally, they only gave you an hour to go through everything. That was the way that the time blocks were set up. So I was wanting to be able to get through everything a couple of times because I always find more when I go back. And so I was feeling pressured to skim through this stuff very quickly. And also I didn't want to waste a bunch of time looking at movies when 99.99% of the time they have no value whatsoever. They're just too readily available. They're literally worth $3 or $4 a piece on the used market. So now I saw this Cowboy Bebop. I was like, okay, I'll grab this for $1 for sure. It may only be a couple bucks, but it's worth the risk. But as you'll see, unfortunately, the disc was scratched to hell. Probably would be playable. Certainly would have been resurfaceable, but I don't have any of that equipment at this time. So I end up putting that back. But next to that, I found this run of the Carol Burnett Show, which I have sold in the past for good money. And at $1 a piece, I won't make as much profit, but I'm not even going to question it. Most of these are sealed. I'm grabbing that. There's about $60 in gross proceeds in that pile, and that'll end up accounting for the majority of what I paid out, including the stuff that I kept for my own collection. So that was a great find. And for some reason, because those were not box sets, I guess. Those were only $1 a piece instead of, $2 or $3 a piece like the other TV shows were. I just grabbed another screener there for Brooklyn. I don't know what that is. I was intrigued by it because it was so kind of funky looking, but I just put it back. I probably would have comped it if I had had cell reception. We got another Criterion here. Yep. Amercord. That's a classic there. Classic Criterion collection. That thing used to be everywhere. And I think it was $30 or $40 new back in the day. Those Criterions were a lot. These are a bunch of DVD and CD Bible study programs. I would have gladly bought both of these boxes. These types of things sell well. They don't always sell for a lot, but they sell well. But they wanted too much for them, $3 to $5 per bundle there, and there's just too much risk there for too little return. So had to leave it behind. I had considered asking about, what they're going to do after the sale's over. I don't know if they just hang on to everything and bring it back out next time or what, but I probably could have asked about coming back and buying up a bunch of stuff that was left behind, but I don't know. I didn't. Taking another pass through the TV shows, hoping to find something that I missed, but I'm not. I know what's there, and I know the problem is that they're just asking way too much for it. I'm taking another pass at Band of Brothers for some reason. I guess because I couldn't get it to comp out. I couldn't get the signal to go through when I looked at it the first time. There were times where I was just carrying my phone around with the spinning thinking dial there and just getting nothing back. Okay, so we finally got Band of Brothers, and these aren't even sold prices. These are asking prices, but yeah, like $10. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the extra step here and look it up for new and sold listings. But again, like $10, $10 new and used, and they want 6 for it. So just nothing there. Disappointing. I just saw Faulty Towers sitting there. I probably should have taken a look at that because I think that's got a little bit of value to it. But I don't know if I didn't notice it before or if I didn't care before, or if at that point I just said, well, they're all too much, so it's not even worth looking at. Taking another look over the books, there was a couple that had caught my eye. This one from Eric Idle. Thought about grabbing it and reading it, but I ended up putting it back. I don't like dealing with books. 99% of books aren't worth anything on the used market. They're big, they're heavy, they're a pain in the butt. And anything that is worth money, it's like a comic book. Anything that is worth money, condition is vital. I did look at this Lighthouse book a couple times. I just thought it was super cool because the pictures are all drawn, not photography. And this is basically an almanac of lighthouses around the country. I ended up grabbing it for $1. Turns out it's not worth anything, so it's whatever. But at this point, I put it back. But I did go back and grab it later. Decided to take a chance on a couple of books, and I definitely took a chance because basically everything I grabbed was more or less worthless, with the exception of a couple of Time Life books, which I'll probably make a little bit of money on. This set was really nice and actually has good value. That set as it stands is about $100, but you'd have to buy each book individually at $1 a piece. There was like 27 books there. You're basically tripling your money when it sells, but now you've got to ship, all those books. They weigh a ton. I just turn my nose up at it, basically. Books are just not my thing. I cannot get excited about them at all when it comes to resale, that is. These are the ones I grabbed, these flight ones. There was only 4 of them. They were in really good shape. And yeah, if I sold them individually, I'd probably get $8 a piece for them ish. But I think I ended up listing them lotted together for 20. I just kind of want to get them sold and crack on. I did also grab these little paperback books. These were $0.25 a piece, and I just thought they were pretty cool. And for $0.25, it was worth taking a risk on. Turned out not to be worth a whole lot, probably $5 for the stack. I may not even list them, to be perfectly honest. I I don't know, probably just toss them, quite frankly. But I thought they'd have a little bit of value to them. They're just kind of cool and funky and old, and I don't know. I thought they were cool. I also thought that they were going to be uncommon, but when you look them up on eBay, there's actually a ton of them available, which was surprising. Oh, geez, we're back at the DVDs. I did look through the rest of those books. I had a couple in my hand at one point, but out that window, I was able to get a cell signal, and they weren't worth enough to make it worth my while. I'm basically what it comes down to is I'm back looking at this Tripping the Rift box set, and you can see I've comped it. I'm trying to get the signal to go through, and I'm just taking another pass through all these while it loads. And I don't even think I ever did get it comped until I got home, but I was confident that it was worth something, and it's worth a little bit, but not much in the end. All right, back in the office. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this here, but I want to show you guys the stuff that we picked up. Okay, I got myself organized here. Where do I start? So I basically let me back up. Where I was has no cell reception, almost no cell reception. So I wasn't able to really comp things as I was looking through it. Most everything at the sale that I was into was too expensive. The box set DVDs were all like $5, $10 or more. A lot of things were $2 and $3, which, you know, isn't bad, but it took away a lot of the profit. I actually spent, I don't know, like 60, I can't remember if I spent $62 or $68, but that included a bunch of stuff that I bought for myself. They had a ton of Looney Tunes DVDs, and that's stuff that I want to be able to sit and watch with my son when he gets a little older, kind of recreate Sunday morning cartoons with him. So I've been kind of just acquiring some of that stuff, you know, as I come across it. So that's where a lot of that 60 some dollars was, because those were $2 and $3 a piece. So I didn't get as much as I would have expected to at this sale. But I got some fun stuff. I got these two for your consideration DVDs. So these were either, let's see. Well, it's not the Screen Actors Guild because they've already been nominated. These are probably, they're screeners, right, for award shows. So the Oscars or the Golden Globes or something of that nature. These kinds of things aren't supposed to be available in the wild. They tend to find themselves in the wild regardless because they send out so many of them. But they sell pretty well. There's a collector's market for these kinds of things. I don't know that either of these are particularly special. I still haven't comped out hardly anything in this pile, but they're really cool. I paid $1 a piece for them, so I know we'll be able to get, you know, something for them. Criterion Collection DVDs are almost always a slam dunk, but there are instances where they're not. I ended up getting 3 Criterion Collections, Amarcord, which was, I think, one of the early, if I remember correctly, that was one of the early Criterion Collection ones on DVD. Obviously, it goes back further than that. But Written on the Wind, I don't know anything about that at all. And In the Mood for Love, which looks like a Japanese film. Hong Kong. Chinese. Hong Kong. This is heavy. How many discs are in here? Just 2. Oh, and a book. And actually, you can see I paid $2 for that one, as a matter of fact. So they did that a lot. Anything that was like multiple discs, they charged $2 for, which is kind of silly, in my opinion, but whatever. But it's Criterion, so I grabbed it. None of these are worth a ton, you know, $5 to $10 a piece. So I'll make money, but not a slam dunk by any means. Another thing I've been trying to grab when I see are old Kung Fu movies, because you can usually get them really cheap, and every once in a while one of them is worth a ton of money. Like that one I just sold actually for $30. I mean, $30 isn't a ton of money, but in a DVD that I paid 10 cents for or whatever, it certainly is. So we got an old Jackie Chan movie. Again, I haven't comped any of these. And then a couple of Sonny Chiba movies. Paid $1 a piece for all of those. So not into those for much. You know, even if you put all 3 together for $10, not making a huge profit, but you're not losing any money by any means. I picked up Get a Life, season or volume 1. I vaguely remember this show being on Fox. I have never seen this in the wild, so, and I know the show was popular at the time. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and it was only $1 because it is the form factor of a regular DVD, so they had it priced for $1. Yeah, I don't know. It's only got 4 episodes on it? It does only have 4 episodes on it. How weird. I don't know. But I did comp this one. It's not worth a ton. But, you know, I don't know. I thought it would be something. On the same vein, I grabbed Tripping the Rift Season 1 for $3. I was really trying to comp this one out. Unfortunately, this one is not worth much. It's Season 2 that's worth a good $30, if I remember correctly. I did look at it when I got home. This was a weird-ass show on Comedy Central. I don't know. It was weird. There was like the late 90s, I guess early 2000s, there was this, and then there was that show Lex, I think, on Sci-Fi. These weird adult-themed shows on basic cable. This one's animated. Lex was live action, but like they were trying to be HBO, but, you know, without showing any boobs. And if your show's not really good, you better show some boobs. Yeah. So I'm not going to hold them all up, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Carol Burnett DVDs. And I think most of them are sealed. Maybe all but the one in my hand are sealed. You guys know we just sold a stack of these Carol Burnett DVDs for a good amount of money. So when I saw them, I definitely grabbed them. Still paid $1 a piece for them. So that kind of hurts, but what'd I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 2 different sets here. There's this set, which is of the same series that we sold. I think these are different volumes. I don't really remember, but this was this right here is probably $30 in my hand. And then there's this other stack of this release, and I think this is about the same. Well, I guess 2 of these have been opened as well. I need to clean these up. They're pretty dusty, but and since they're all sealed, maybe they'll garner a little more. I can't remember if the other ones I had were sealed or not, but you know, this is probably $30 here as well. So between those 2 stacks, we get all of our money back. I picked up this Blu-ray. It's Terry Gilliam film. Never heard of it, but it was new, sealed, so I grabbed it for $1. You know, brand new Blu-rays, hard to go wrong for $1. Another thing I'm looking to grab when I see them are weird horror movies, because same thing with the Kung Fu movies. Most of them are not worth anything, but every once in a while you hit on something that's worth a ton. I think this Night of the Iguana one is actually worth a little bit, you know, $10, $15 in used condition. This Homecoming is basically worthless, but that's all right. That's, you know, that's the risk you take when you're sort of grabbing and going. Can I show this? Yeah, it's censored. You guys saw this in the video. I laughed so hard. The guts to put this up at a charity sale. Girls Gone Wild. Talk about a relic. These are actually dated 2005, which shocks me. Based on the haircuts, I'm gonna say that this stuff was filmed before 2005. I would say earlier, or maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't know. I was like, you know what? I bet you there's money in these. I paid $1 a piece. I got one that's open, and then I got one that's sealed. And I talked about in another video. My wife gave me a hard time about it's just, these things are ridiculous. These things were ridiculous when they were new and like there was no internet, right? But anyway, she asked me if I was going to watch them, and my initial reaction was, hell no, I'm not going to watch them. I don't care about that, and I don't. But there is a morbid curiosity, actually, because these things were like everywhere when I was, you know, in my late teens and early 20s. I mean, the ads ran constantly for these videos. So I don't know. There is a bit of a morbid curiosity. I might have to at least start the one that's open, just to see. And then I picked up a bunch of CDs. CDs I think were like 50 cents. So I just kind of grabbed a bunch of rock stuff, which was all they had, really, rock and kind of country. But I don't know. I figure I'll lot them together, and I should be able to do all right with them. Got a couple of Ugly Kid Joe CDs, 1991 and 1992. I don't know anything about the releases. I just recognize the band and kind of that art style. You know, again, you never know when you'll hit on something that's got some value to it. I've never even heard of this band. I think they're called Extreme 2. And this is the Porno Graffiti album. I haven't comped any of these. So there's that. I got, I guess, one Def Leppard album. I thought I had more. Def Leppard, whatever. Like I said, these old CDs, late 80s, early 90s, I grabbed them. Bunch of Van Halen. Okay, not a bunch, 3. Why do I think I have a bunch of Van Halen? Are these out of order? Or is it all Motley Crue? I guess I had more variety than I thought. A couple of Van Halen CDs. I looked up, I guess I looked up some of these CDs. This dumb $9.95 one is actually one of the more valuable ones. It's still worth about $10. This is Women and Children First. But I'm just going to lot this stuff together and, try to get a little bit of money. What did I say? A couple of Motley Crue CDs. 3 of those. This one, I just didn't know what it was. My Rifle, My Pony and Me, movie and TV soundtracks. I don't know. It's a German import, which is weird. And then the music on it is, there's a Dean Martin, James Stewart, Marty Robbins is on here. A bunch of people I don't know. Johnny Cash, Dean Martin again, and just a bunch of people I've never heard of. Kirk Douglas sings a song on here. Roy Rogers on here a couple times. So I don't know. I guess they're just from shitty Western shows. But yeah, it's a German import. I don't know, man. But it was weird. It was 50 cents. I grabbed it. Maybe it's nothing, but I had to. And then just a couple of odds and ends. I got a Kinks CD. I got a AC/DC CD. AC/DC CD. Say that 10 times fast. Who is this? Oh, Queensryche. Queensryche. And then Red Hot Chili Peppers. So, yeah. 50 cents a piece. I figure what the heck, And it was for a good cause. It supports the community park and common buildings and the playground and stuff. So it's all for a good cause. So that, did I even show these? I don't think I did. I got these books. Oh, I got more books behind me. I just thought these were cool. They're not in great shape. Let me get them organized here. But they're like almanacs, sports almanacs from 70... Let's see, baseball 76, football 78, football 79, and the NFL report for 78, which is really cool actually because it's basically it's basically a TV guide for NFL and NCAA football games for that year. So it's got, let me see here, I'll turn to the page. It's just got all kinds of stats, and team report, and somewhere here there's the TV schedule. I thought. Ooh, well, hey, I own a piece of Super Bowl history. Not in great shape. They're pretty beat up. I just thought they were cool, and they were, I think, 25 cents a piece. So I grabbed them. I looked them up. They're not really worth anything. I could lot them together and probably get $5 or $10 for them, but no big deal. And then I grabbed this book because I think I paid $1 for this. It's just weird. It's a book of lighthouses. But it's old, and let me see if I can show you this stuff here. I open this up. Like, all the diagrams are drawn, including the pictures of the lighthouses, and they're actual lighthouses. Like, this is a sort of an encyclopedia type book. Doing a balancing act here. When was this from? I forget. 1971. So I don't know. I kept looking at it. I picked it up and put it down like 11 times, and finally I was like, for $1, I'm just gonna grab it and see what's up. I grabbed this Winner's Guide to Texas Hold'em Poker. Some of these poker books can be worth a good amount of money. This turned out to not be one of them. A couple of bucks. Probably just keep it. I used to play a lot of poker. I used to play semi-professionally, actually, in my early 20s. Don't tell my mom. But I was playing 5 days a week at the casino that was right by our house, and I never came over. Anyway, I picked up this Star Wars movie trilogy book. It's a hardbound, collecting the first three movies basically in picture form. Cool book, not worth a lot. Paid $1 for it. Wasn't really mad. Can't go wrong. And then I picked up a set of 4 Time Life books. They had a bunch of Time Life books, and I wanted to buy them all, but the comps. Every once in a while I could get a sell signal through, and I was able to comp a couple of things, and the other books they had there just weren't comping out very good. But yeah, a couple of these Epic of Flight Time Life books. Comps on these were all over the place, and I think the difference comes down to parting them out. I ended up getting, I think, 4 of them, but there's something like 5 of them. I got 5 of them, but there's like 20 of them in the series or more, based on what I found on eBay when I got home. And I think what it comes down to is when you're wanting to sell the entire set, you don't get much per book. But if you piece the books out individually, you've got people who are trying to complete sets and things like that. They sell for a lot more. So it looks like those are probably $8 to $10 plus shipping a piece. So that's really good because I only paid $1 a piece for them. So very happy with that. So that's everything we got from the charity auction, or not auction, sorry, charity rummage sale, media sale. Maybe if I had been there earlier in the week, I could have gotten more and done better, but I don't know. At the prices they wanted on the TV seasons, which are kind of my bread and butter, I don't think there would have necessarily been more for me to pick up. The fact that The Girls Gone Wild was still sitting there, which strikes me as the type of thing somebody would grab. They do comp well, by the way. That's probably $40 sitting there. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that I was that late in the year, or in the week, and there was a fair amount of stuff left. So anyway, that's it for this one. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, share. I'm going to try to edit this down so it's not an hour-long video, and I'll see you next time.